scoop of everything video game and good. That's right. I said it. Didn't make sense, but it came out my mouth. I'm your host, Guillermo, and for better or for worse, you're my fucking co-hosts. We got Zack
What up?
and Javier Ortiz.
For better or worse.
For better or worse. I mean, it's both of us, though. Like, they're stuck with us, you know what I'm saying? Anyways, guys, welcome to the show. We have a lot of things to talk about, you know, same things concerning VR and other stuff like that. But before we do, if you are listening to this on our podcast services, that is YouTube or Google Play, guys, why don't you go ahead and incorporate some video in your life and go to our YouTube channel and watch this stuff live. Not really, but you can pretend like it is. Also, guys, if you're watching this on YouTube, by the way, YouTube/multiplayer. And if you're watching this on YouTube, you can also listen to this on the go with our podcast services on Google Play and iTunes. I almost said YouTunes. That's not a thing.
Nope. We're making it a thing.
We are patenting it, so you can't take it.
YouTunes.com/multiplayer/org.
Done. Lastly, guys, also, if you want to go ahead and take a trip to our Patreon page at patreon.com/multiplayer, it'd be greatly appreciated, even if you just put those eyes on the page. Also, there are a couple of things you can look into, as well as incentives. So if you want to give us a couple of dollars to get extra content, which is 2 videos a month, you could do so. But if not, then come right back to the YouTube channel or the podcast and enjoy your fill of multiplayer, because now it's time to press start. Who's got quarters?
I don't.
I don't have any.
I just
change.
did laundry. I don't have any.
Shit. All right. Yeah, but guys, it's a new week. How you been?
Yeah.
Yeah? Yeah. I mean, your hat is on point. Shirt's going well.
Thanks.
I like this. You're scrunchy.
It's a man.
It's pretty adorable.
I like it. I like it a lot.
Yeah, it's manly.
All right. Well, something that we talked about last week was the unfortunate series of events that happened with your SNES Classic pre-orders. So I think we might want to touch on that because guess what, guys? Updates and news.
I still don't have one.
I'm going to keep you in the dark, though. We're going to move on to the next topic. No.
That's what Nintendo typically does.
Exactly. No, actually, Nintendo posted on their Facebook on August 3rd saying, and I quote, "We appreciate the incredible anticipation that exists for the SNES Classic." They said, system, Nintendo, whatever, entertainment system, whatever, SNES Classic system, and can confirm that it will be made available for pre-order by various retailers later this month.
Yay!
Whoop-de-doo!
Which, like, obviously, because it comes out September 29th.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, so, also, they did go on the record and say a significant amount of systems will be shipped for launch day and throughout the balance of the calendar year. I don't know why they chose balance in that thing. You could have just gone easily with the rest. Kind of a pretentious word choice by Nintendo, but hey, you know what? Still love you. How do you guys feel about that?
Well, at least they're going to have pre-orders.
God.
I mean, the whole thing, like with the NES Classic, it's like, how could you not have pre-orders?
Yeah, really.
It's like, you know, I would say that was, when that was announced last year, it was like a huge piece of news. I mean,
when was that, by the way? When did they announce the NES Classic? Because that, for me, it went way under my radar. It wasn't until I was in line for a Switch that someone was like, "What are you here for?" I was like, "The Switch, obviously." He was like, "No, I'm here for the NES Classic." I was like, "What is that?" And I was like, I really was out of the fucking loop, so I don't even know when it was announced.
Yeah.
It was definitely a few months prior.
Really?
It might have even been E3 or something right
It's
in there.
an interesting strategy for Nintendo to release a huge new console for Nintendo and then also a NES Classic. Like, doesn't make any sense.
Well, it was. I mean, it was in a good. Actually, no. Was it last year? Gosh, my times are totally.
I
mixed
can look
up.
on the
We got him.
I got the interwebs right here.
No, I guess because
let's see.
it totally was. It was last year because it came
Maybe.
out, I think September-ish, and
Allegedly.
then and then the Switch came out in March.
Yeah, it was.
So
it was.
like,
The point is that it
I
was
was gonna
very
say
close
fall. I was
Yeah, it
waiting
was
towards
definitely
Oh,
fall.
I'm glad we could get your input on that. Thank
but
you.
I mean, it was.
You know.
After
it
we've already
was-
I'd committed to an answer.
Shut up.
But obviously, it was a smart move at the time, just because Nintendo had nothing else going
Yeah,
on.
no, they
were just-
really didn't. I mean, like, it was just the Switch anticipation, and then that was about it. So
Yeah.
interesting though that they did those kind of almost in tandem. That was weird.
Yeah, but I mean, it's they needed to sell something before the end of their fiscal year.
Sure.
Yeah.
And
Not anymore.
and they just they're
Yeah, really.
fine
They're
now.
set.
Which is actually, it's kind of weird that they're even coming out with an SNES Classic.
It's
because
not. I mean, if you think about it from a business point, like it makes a lot of sense. Like they did really, they did, I think, better than they expected with the NES Classic.
Oh, for sure.
And now they're like, oh, let's just do a classic for all the systems because, like we had mentioned on a previous episode, you guys would know if you watched it, that they are also talking about the N64. I don't know why I said it on that, but the N64 Classic.
Obviously still rumors with that, but
which is like how there's no cartridges, right? No. It makes sense for the NES Classic to be cartridgeless because you have to have a flap that opens to put the game in. Mm-hmm. But how is it going to look aesthetically when you have that SNES or the 64 without that cartridge, that lovely reminder of the 90s?
You're playing something.
I mean, the minute you just start playing like Super Metroid or something, I think you're just not going to
we say that, but I bet you that's going to be like a point about like, someone's going to have something to bitch about, and I think that's going to be one of them. Oh, well, besides whatever kind of technical
people
like
want to complain about everything.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Just getting prepared for it.
It's like, how's there only 22 of like the greatest games of all time on there? What the hell?
Yeah. I mean, I do have a complaint that Chrono Trigger's not on there because like I am super excited to get it. I'm definitely gonna pre-order it now that I have like a new chance because you guys already
once it comes
took
out
one for the team. Yeah. But apparently, they're gonna have a lot more. It's going to be a little bit more accessible, it sounds like, this time around. Who knows that's true?
I hope so, because, I mean, you were saying how, like, it's a smart business decision to keep going with the SNES or the classics.
Yeah.
But they're also making bad business decisions on, like, production and, like, giving them to us.
I think that the NES, because they weren't thinking too much into it, they're just like, we'll just put this out there and the hardcore collectors will get
But it's such a perfect Christmas present.
It truly is.
So perfect.
But I think that was their, like, canary in the mine shaft. Wow, reference.
That's...
but true.
Is that a thing?
Yeah, like, they wanted to test it, or they didn't really have too much expectations. They wanted to test it out, and it was a huge hit. So they're like, well, we have the market for the rest of these classic systems, and we're obviously excited for it, so... Hopefully, from now on, they'll be like, oh, okay, either A, we make this exclusive just to be weird, because Nintendo's not like that anyways, or we just make this massively accessible for everybody because the demand is there, which I think is what they're going to go with.
They should have just made like 1 billion of those NES classics.
Yeah, they would have sold easy.
Yeah, especially like on a year where they had nothing else going on, like the Wii U was dead in the water and the Switch wasn't out yet. It's like they needed just 100 million of those freaking things just flooding the shelves.
Hopefully with the SNES, that will be the case.
I doubt it.
Fingers
Nintendo
crossed.
hates money.
Okay, so we're going to go down. We're about to switch off this topic, but before we do, I want to ask one question. That is, favorite game that is in that library that's coming with the SNES Classic, and then one that you wish was on there. So for me, I think my favorite is going to be Super Mario RPG. And then the one that I wish was on there that's not is Chrono Trigger.
Chrono Trigger?
Yeah, for sure. That was going to be my complaint earlier. I just didn't really finish that thought, but...
I think the game that I love most, I mean, I love all those games, but like I'm really looking forward to playing Yoshi's Island again.
Yeah.
I love that game so much. It's so good. And a game that I wish was on it, Earthworm Jim.
Oh, that's a good
such a good game, dude. I love that game.
I haven't played that one in years.
Yeah, it's so
that's
good.
Struck a chord, I could tell.
Oh, I mean, it's just...
It's a deep cut.
Yeah. It's one of those games like... That's not on anything anymore.
Yeah,
so it's like,
totally forgotten, but it's damn good.
They remastered it a couple times, though.
I don't think so, did they?
Not that I know.
An HD thing?
Swear they did, or at least if it wasn't a remaster, it was a sequel. But like on newer generations, I know they did.
Maybe they did like
maybe
PS3, 360, or something like that.
Yeah, like an arcade situation.
Maybe.
I mean, don't quote me. We could look it up. But
I could look
whatever.
on the interwebs.
Yeah. All right, Zach.
So I'm super excited for Star Fox 2.
Yes.
That's kind of the game I'm like...
That's a given, for sure.
I mean, that's a game that's never been released.
Yeah.
So it's a brand
new game.
So yeah, totally down for that. Kind of wish that Sunset Riders was on there.
Oh.
It's so good.
Love Sunset Riders. Damn, that game's good.
I mean, there's so many great SNES games. So
Was
it's like
that
you can make
you
that
have
list
most
forever.
of them.
Was that a SNES exclusive?
No.
It
was on Genesis too, wasn't
I
it?
think Genesis and an arcade.
Okay.
And I'm
Still,
sure it's
oh,
probably
man.
on something else too.
Yeah, I love that game. Is so good.
That game is awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, fantastic. Well, hopefully we can get our hands on it, and then maybe we can have like a little review session on this when it comes out. Or just, hell, I want to have a game night with that thing. That'd be badass.
I mean, I wouldn't mind some drinks, some SNES Classic. That sounds like a good night to me. I mean,
some good music. Maybe we get handsy. Who knows?
I mean, down by the fire. That sounds good to me.
Down by the river with the
massage oils.
All right, so we're getting real down dirty and sexy with the SNES. Moving on. Sue, we got a little bit of leaks and rumors and some alleged speculation.
Ooh.
So, guys, there's a quick question just to jump into this Last of Us. Have you heard of it?
Last of who?
Of Us. But not literally, it's like the title of the game.
Never heard of it.
Quite an adventure. I believe it has Ellen Page, and it's about jumping in and out of dreams or something of the such.
Oh,
starring,
with Willem Dafoe.
Starring
Willem
Joel
Dafoe,
Last
yeah.
of Us.
No, Naughty Dog's amazing game on the PS3 right at
good.
the end of its console life. Last of Us is getting a sequel. Of course, that's not new news. That was at E3. Can't wait for this thing. But there has been a bit of speculation that has been done on Reddit because fans have been fawning over the concept art that was released back in December at the PSX 2016 event.
Right.
Naughty Dog released some concept art. It was beautiful. It kind of showed the theme, the atmosphere of the world that we were going to now be in. It looked much more overgrown, and it looked like we were years into this process of the cordyceps outbreak. But a fan, an artist and Redditor named Voidsby, which I am a fan of the name, I think was a good choice, he believes he discovered one of the game's locations. And we say one, but again, we don't know exactly how many locations there are going to be. If there's going to be multiple, we assume there is.
Yeah, if it's like the first one.
Yeah,
Right.
I'm assuming there's going to be.
follow suit.
Yeah, there's a road trip.
Cross-country road trip. Yeah.
And then wacky adventures ensue. Smash cut to someone's head exploding.
What kind of wacky shenanigans are they going to find themselves in next time?
A clicker. But he went on. He took those concept photos, and I imagine because he's an artist, he was really looking at like the technical. I don't know why I'm going into how he looked at the
finer
pictures.
details.
Yeah, there you go. He's an
Took
artist,
his
so
eyes and he squinted.
and he saw a sailboat. Weirdly enough, no. He looked at the concept art and he started to see some similarities with Seattle, Washington. But the funny thing is that the similarities that he was finding were. In one of the pictures, there is and you can't really even tell. It's like a rundown building in the background. It's like all on fire
it's like
almost.
a parking garage.
Yeah.
It's a parking garage that is called. It says public parking ABM, and he found out that is a building near the Millennium Tower in Seattle, off of First Street or First Avenue, and then he went into another concept art piece or whatever. It had overgrown in the brush was a parking sign and like one of those electronic prepay meters.
Yeah.
And he's like, those also look like they're from Seattle, Washington. And they do. He had on his Reddit, when he posted everything up, he had side-by-side photos and he went really in depth with he's like, yo guys, listen, I think I stumbled onto the Holy Grail. And everyone's like, it's a location, calm down. But
Relax.
the
I
fact is,
swear,
though,
this looks like a parking garage.
yeah, look at it. No, but the cool thing is that we haven't seen Seattle. Seattle.
Seattle?
Yeah, skedaddle over to Seattle because we haven't been there yet in The Last of Us. So it's going to be a wholly new location to the game. So that'll be really exciting. If it's true, of course. This is speculation. But, I mean, it looks pretty legit. Yeah. And I think that Naughty Dog is that detail-oriented to do that.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of developers now, when they're developing a city within a game, it's like they send out a team of people that they'll go to these cities and they'll take pictures of everything.
Oh, for sure.
And then they might be Seattle within the game, but obviously things are moved around. They're different.
Sure.
But it's one of those things.
Landmarks and stuff.
Yeah. It's one of those things. It's that could very easily just they had a photo and they sort of recreated their own version of it within the game. So it's it's very possible that's the case. And
yeah,
I'm honestly, excited. If there's a part in Seattle, I'm totally down for that. 'Cause Seattle's it's a very, very pretty state, or Washington is.
Yeah, sure.
It's it's foggy a lot of the times.
Yeah, it fits the atmosphere of the game.
Yeah. It's gonna be real nice. I actually would really like to see. Now, I didn't even think of I wanted this until you said something, but I would really like to see more environmental. Not interaction, but environmental variations.
Yeah.
Well, in terms of weather. I think that there should be some really foggy scenes or some really heavy rain.
Absolutely.
I think that would really add to it because there wasn't. There was
the snow. That was the best
snow,
part.
The blizzard when you couldn't see people that were right in front of you was really cool. So doing something like that with rain would be really cool.
Yeah, especially in that climate.
You think about the clickers and okay, if I can get outside, they wouldn't hear me because of the rainfall.
Right, or maybe you also can't really hear them too. It becomes a lot more.
Yeah.
Oh, Naughty Dog, we got the ideas.
We can be the devs.
But I didn't even think about that. That's a really good, I mean, and because of how much Sony has a hard-on for like weather interactive like environments, I think that maybe it will be a possibility. So
for sure,
yeah, why
that'd be
not?
super cool. That'd be really, really cool. I don't know. Maybe what do you think other locations might be? Of course, we have no idea what the story is. We still don't. We know that Joel is in it. People were speculating when the trailer first dropped that he was like going to be like the ghost, like that, like basically her Obi-Wan, in the game.
Jedi Force Ghost.
Yeah. No, but he's apparently in it. He's been confirmed, and Ellie. Yeah, Ellie is much older, and she's seen some shit. And when that trailer dropped, she was like, "Yeah, I'm ready to kill everybody."
Yeah,
and I was like, "This is a darker Ellie I've not seen." I'm very excited to see where her character goes, but where do you think her character will go? Literally, physically.
If it's Seattle, it'd be pretty cool if there's some sort of involvement with like we gotta get past the Canadian border because there's something up there. I don't know. I mean, that would be kind of cool. Yeah.
To see that because that would also help out like on a because now we've seen America pretty much go to shit, but like see a global scale and go to different countries. I think that'd be a great idea.
Yeah, I'd be down for something like that.
Yeah.
Maybe they go up to Alaska. It'd be pretty sweet.
Maybe they just do a Carmen San Diego thing.
Trek.
They're like, where are we going next? They just jump countries to country. That'd be kind of awesome.
Well, with the whole road trip idea, we just have like it would be like a little map with a cartoon car just moving across.
On the road.
Yeah, I love it.
They're just like playing the guitar.
Yeah, I think a little Rusted Root in the background.
It's like a TripAdvisor commercial.
Yeah, right. And then like we break the facade with another one of those moments like in Last of Us 2 where like the ambush happens.
Yeah.
We're like, oh my god.
But
what a juxtaposition. That'd be awesome.
I will say that like I love going north. We're in LA and like I love taking trips up north a lot and just kind of going up the coast and looking at all the.
That would be really awesome.
Yeah,
maybe some beach environments. We didn't see that.
Yeah,
too.
I mean, you
Yeah,
got the
like
water on one side.
Like that. There was some beach in the first Last of Us game.
Oh, there was because you wash up on it.
Yeah,
that's right. Yeah.
But I mean, just the northern states on the West Coast are just so beautiful, and the first Last of Us game was so beautiful, and it's like I mean they're so good at like creating an environment, and that game just like its colors, like the kind of the fall era when like at
so
the
good.
university,
like
all the
browns and
colors
oranges.
I mean, it's just such a pretty game. So I can't
Dog,
wait
man.
to see what they do with.
You know what I would like to see? I don't know. Did they go to Wyoming in the last game? They just like they went straight to Colorado.
Went to Colorado.
But like I would like to see. Okay, maybe they did. I don't know. But just for the sake of going quicker in this, I would like to see them go into like a very westerny looking environment with like some really beautiful panoramic, long, wide open spaces. So we get that like beautiful Naughty Dog polish of like the sunset and sunrise coming up. But I think like since they incorporated horses in the last game, if we could do some more horseback through like some really beautiful open terrain,
Great Plains.
I think that'd be pretty awesome.
Go to the desert.
Yeah, exactly. The desert.
Give
would be really cool.
Red Dead a run for their money.
Yeah, we just make Red Dead. We can just make Red Dead.
Undead Cowboys.
And Joel is a playable character. All right, so moving on, guys. Here's a new thing. I just thought of it. I'm going to make it up. I'm going to make up the news round. No, Spotify, there was a little bit of things going on earlier this week. It was leaked that that app was going to be available for Xbox. Recently, The Verge, which is a pretty reputable website, confirmed that it is going to be on the Xbox. It's going to be an app that we can now access again.
Very
cool.
Not
again. We can access it now.
Yeah.
PS4 already had Spotify. And so now Xbox is going to be getting it, and they don't have any news as to what the app will be able to do on that console specifically. But everyone's speculating that it's going to be pretty much the same as PS4, where it can play in the background of certain Xbox or PS4 games, and you can enjoy all your smashing tunes as you smash faces. So the only thing that I think about this is kind of negative is that the Switch has not have any kind of news about getting a Spotify app.
Or any app.
App.
But it's like I think Reggie at one point said like, hey, the apps are coming. It's like we.
Yeah, but you think that. Sorry, I cut you off. Keep going.
Well, it's just obviously it's a new system. They needed to get the Switch out before the end of their fiscal year to make their. Basically everybody that has stock in Nintendo happy, their shareholders, and so it's like it was something where it's like I think the Switch in a lot of ways is still in kind of a beta
Yeah, absolutely. I could definitely see that. I mean, the way it launched, like the interface itself, the operating system, it was very bare bones.
When you think about Nintendo, it's games first. And kind of like media center second, like PS4 and Xbox are built to be an entertainment center. Nintendo is more like
who booted up their Wii when that first came out with that Weather Channel and was like amazed.
Yeah,
back in 2006.
I love that.
No, yeah,
I know, and you could like scroll through the world. You're like, oh my god. Like they even introduced Netflix, via a disc that Netflix had to send you in order to access the app.
Actually, no, I downloaded mine.
Did you? I remember I had to get a disc from Netflix. They had to mail it to me, and then I had to be able to use it. I think
maybe it was like an early version.
I think so. Yeah. I was on the ground floor of cutting edge stuff of Netflix. No. But but even on the Wii, it had Netflix at the very least.
Yeah, so did the Wii U.
Wii U had Hulu, it had Amazon Prime, it had Netflix. I believe it had other things I didn't have download, but it had it readily available. Switch has nothing, and so I kind of want. And they don't have any social media apps either, any streaming apps. They don't have music, which and the funny thing is, what I was going to say earlier when I cut you off rudely, was. That this is the perfect thing for apps. I'm sure Nintendo wants to be like, okay, hey, this isn't a tablet. They don't want to do all those things. Yeah. But it's portable, and it has Wi-Fi capability, and when you're already playing your beloved video games on your plane ride, wouldn't you also want to have the capability to listen to your music too?
Sure.
They're on the market to be like, hey, Switch can also replace your whatever, your iPod or your
iPad,
iPhone or whatever,
whatever tablet you have.
Exactly.
Basically.
This also does all that, and it plays amazing AAA games like Zelda. Do you know that game?
Yeah,
and then the person they're talking to is shitting their pants, and like, oh, he thought so. On
a plane, and they just
on a plane, and now everyone's upset. Yeah. Nice reference. So I just think it's it's a weird a second thought for Nintendo not to at least have something out the gate, at least betas of those apps.
It'll come. I think they needed to get the Switch out the door. Yeah. And I think probably beginning of 2018 when they're launching the paid service and all that.
Yeah, I was gonna say
I think it's probably gonna be in that same.
Would you mind going
That'd be my guess.
Further into that, the paid service?
Well, Nintendo, they have their paid online service that they're setting up, which right now they have a beta version of that out right now through the app, and obviously all of that's free. But once
it's November, right? Is when that starts to kick in. They're gonna start charging.
No, they pushed it back to 2018.
Oh, great!
So we basically have it for free all of 2017, and then
perfect.
Some point in 2018, it's gonna be $20 a year, and they're gonna have hopefully they'll have their virtual console up, and hopefully they'll have, with that paid service, you're going to be getting one free game a month.
Yeah, I think it's
an
one.
NES game or a Super Nintendo game. And
I heard there was speculation that you were going to be able to access a few games for that month. And since you pay the subscription, you could access up to, let's just say 5.
Yeah.
But you'd only have access to those 5 for that month. And then they close them down and put them back up.
That was the original. That's what originally Nintendo had in mind. Yep. They had announced you get 1 game a month, and at the end of that month it disappears. You don't have it anymore. But they've changed that. At least as far as I'm aware.
I mean, that if they did, that's a smart idea. I think.
Yeah, I think they they want to compete more with PS4, Xbox One, and so it's at the end of that month you keep that game.
I think the only way that would work is if they introduce a tier system with as much as the more amount that you pay, the more access to games you have, but you actually get to keep going back to that library and play them as much as you want if you just keep paying that subscription.
Right.
I mean,
I think that would make more sense. But they were wanting to only for this month you can have this selection of game, and then after that month's over, they cycle it out, so you have to pay for that game if you really liked it to own it, which I think is a little ridiculous.
Yeah.
There's some games you can't beat in a month, or
you just don't have time. It's a lot. My PS4 has such a back catalog of games I need to play.
Right.
But it's I download them for free on my PS.
Yeah. Keep them in the library and.
Yeah. And definitely, Nintendo absolutely needs a larger library of games to compete with the massive PSN store and the massive Xbox Live store as well. And I think that there's a thing on a cutting edge with in the app world right now. There's a thing called Rainway.
Transition.
It's called the Rainway app, and essentially what it does is an app that allows you to access and stream your PC games onto your mobile device and or console. And this is something that's already been confirmed for Android, iOS, Xbox, and PlayStation consoles and mobile devices. And the lead, Andrew Sampson, has also been trying to talk to Nintendo about selling his app to them as well. They have not said no. They've also not said yes. So they're in this weird limbo with that whole idea. But essentially, just to go in depth with the app, then we can talk about what the Switch, why that's a good thing. The app itself, if you have a PC, you have to have a PC to access your PC games, obviously, and it has to be, at least have the minimum requirements to play these games. But if you have that, and you also have the Rainware app, you can then access these games through the computer by it. It renders out the process and everything like that. But you basically have a second monitor, essentially with your mobile device or your console, so you can play those games not glued and tethered to your desk station, right? So if you run the game on your computer, go to your living room, have a nice comfy couch, sit and play Nier or Witcher 3 or whatever you have on your Steam account. Now, that being said, great news for Android, iOS, Xbox, and PlayStation users. Nintendo's kind of out here in the cold, though. The thing is that Andrew Sampson has been tweeting out a lot, just consistently with a whole bunch of news saying hey, Switch it works perfectly on the Switch. I mean, it has the capability to stream 4K content at 60 frames per second, and then also has the ability to stream 1080 content at 120 frames per second with the frame rate capped. So it has the ability to run these games, and then he was like, you know what, one more better. Here's a video of me playing Witcher 3 using the app Rainware on my Switch.
Yeah.
And he was playing Witcher 3, he was playing Batman Arkham Knight, Nier Automata, and he just tweeted out literally today that he was playing Half-Life 3. I'm sorry, Half-Life 2. And then everyone lost their minds. Yeah. No, he's playing Half-Life 2, I'm sorry. He's playing Half-Life 2 perfectly, and it looks great. Another thing, too, is obviously the whole point of this app is to take, not be tethered to your computer and to take this with you on the go. Right. Switch is exactly that, right? So it's a perfect app for the Switch. It completely helps out with their lack of game library, right now, to be able to compete with the other consoles. And because of the Switch's unique design, it can also, and they tested this out, as long as it's using the PC as a source, it can be up to 80 miles away from it, as long as the Wi-Fi and the bandwidth are, can run it.
Right.
And it can play Witcher 3 80 miles away.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
It's really crazy. Just so what do you think? Do you think that that's good news? What do you know?
Well, it's one of those things where it's obviously having the ability to do something like that is pretty awesome. But it's if it's anything because I'll stream stuff from my PS4 to a PC or my MacBook or something like that, and it works perfectly outside of a little bit of latency, which is always the worst with a video game.
Sure.
If
it's to be expected when it comes to streaming like that, though.
Yeah, unless you're you're playing something simple like Gone Home or something where it's you don't necessarily need kind of really fast reactions or something like that. But if you're playing Witcher 3 or pretty much anything you need to you're blocking, you're trying to it's if there's any type of input lag, then it becomes a big pain in the ass.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's but it's one of those things that's if it works well, then awesome. If there's any type of latency, well, the games I would probably play on it would probably already be on the Nintendo eShop.
Yeah. But I mean, there's a lot of games that, actually, before I go into my thing, Javier, what do you think?
I was just thinking for the cross-platform, if you're playing Witcher on the Switch and stuff, would the devs of those games have to update that software to make it work?
No.
They wouldn't.
They would not, because Andrew Sampson, don't want to forget his name.
Yeah.
Andrew Sampson also tweeted out a video of him showing basically an HTML5 beta, which is showing how he can access with the controls on the Switch the control scheme within the browser, which Rainware uses. Bases their whole thing through HTML service.
That's pretty amazing, because that's always the biggest thing when it comes to game developers wanting, because once you have to make a game for the Switch, you got to change up everything for the controls, for everything.
Yeah,
so it's
Rainware does it for you. It's already done.
That's pretty incredible.
Exactly.
That's kind of worth it to me. But the thing is, if I'm running that with my Switch, personally, I don't like using Wi-Fi on devices, and the Switch doesn't have an Ethernet port. You got to get the adapter for it. So it's I mean, if his video is really like, hey guys, look at how badass this looks and how perfect it runs, like
it does.
And it was all Wi-Fi. Like he must have some pretty powerful Wi-Fi then.
It's true. I mean, that is true, and that is going to be a big variable for people who have this app. But I think it works perfectly for this system. And I don't know, guys. I would like to because I have a great time playing Zelda on the go.
Yeah,
and that's a huge open world game. I would like to do that with Witcher 3. I might be able to actually get some stuff done in that game if I could.
I mean, think about it. Like, if you have like a kind of like a dead end job where you just have a lot of downtime, you just like stream your games on your Switch and like just go through your library so much quicker. If your Wi-Fi, your job is pretty good. But I don't know. I'd be really interested to try it out because I can't think of 80 miles is really like
intense,
crazy. Yeah. So I mean, I wouldn't imagine doing that outside of my home just because like it's I'm
not
gonna go to
time to play video games.
Well, that and like where am I gonna go to a Starbucks and just post up, use their Wi-Fi?
Right.
Might as well just be at home.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I mean, it's stuff like that is where I question it, but I mean, it's a cool idea. It's just how often would I use it and where would I use it is the biggest question for me. Like getting away from a PC station is kind of cool.
But I mean, was that not a question though that you had when they announced the Switch? They're like, I mean, I play video games at home mostly, so when am I going to actually like?
But I'm not streaming stuff. That's the difference.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, you're not necessarily connected to Wi-Fi. Like you think about maybe you're on an airplane that doesn't have Wi-Fi access or something like that, and it's like,
or you have to pay for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so stupid.
True.
Yeah. So
when you go just revert back to Zelda.
Exactly.
You have the option,
streaming's not work. Well, I'm gonna have to play Breath of the Wild again.
Yeah. Oh God, what a terrible thing.
I think the biggest takeaway though is like it never hurts to have access to more games.
No,
this is true.
Not.
So it's like if it works, awesome.
Absolutely.
Bring it on.
I think
mean, somebody will use it.
Yeah, and I think the only obstacle that they're running into right now is Nintendo doesn't really have much to gain besides, featuring the Switch more. Yeah. They don't have really a way to monetize these games in their benefit. Like they don't know how to monetize Witcher 3 or Batman or Half-Life 2.
Will the app be like free to use?
That hasn't been said yet. It's still in its testing forms. It's been announced to possibly come out in a beta form for Xbox and PS4 in November. But like they haven't started talking about like pricing and stuff like that because it's not even an available thing.
Yeah.
Because the one thing I would hate with a program or with a piece of whatever that I can't use yet was to hear the price. It's like, how about you just show me what it does first before you start putting price points. So I think that's good. I mean, they're not doing that yet, but I don't know. I think it would definitely help the Switch kind of stay in that title for like it's what indie console. It's kind of like what it's trying to be. Wii U tried it, and Wii U didn't do very well.
Right.
And I think the Switch has the capability, but it just needs that library. So there it is.
Yeah, and again, all that might change come 2018. When they with their new subscription service. Yeah. So who knows what they have planned? I mean, remember this is still a baby system.
That's true. That is true. And it's doing. It definitely walked before it crawled. Let's see this bitch run. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. I mean, if it can if it can handle 4K 60 frames per second, I mean that's
which I didn't even know that was a thing. This little thing could do.
Pretty powerful little guy.
All right. Well, some other things are on the horizon too. Besides being able to stream some games on your Switch, possibly in the future, this actually has to do with both video games and possibly the complete annihilation of the human race. VR is a thing, and it's rapidly approaching. Microsoft actually just released it's really a VR, but their mixed reality headset with Acer and with HP. The Acer version being $299, the HP version being $329, which is pretty much competing with the PSVR as well as not the HTC, but the Oculus Rift is starting to go down in price too. So starting to kind of compete with that. But I mean, this VR thing is rapidly growing. Every console is starting to kind of get into it. Nintendo, who knows what's going to happen there, but they possibly want to package this eventually. They already have a situation with Oculus, with their Microsoft, all that. What do you guys think of this VR situation? I mean, that's not really the best way to introduce a topic, but I did it, so there you go.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's one of those things, like, I'm still so wait and see with it. It's like, there's some cool stuff on those headsets right now, but it's something that it's like, for $400, $500, or whatever the price is for any of those kind of bundled headsets, it's like it's still just I'm waiting for like at least PlayStation VR 2.0 or 3.0.
Right.
Maybe there's like I'm still waiting on that killer app that comes out and it's like, no, you have to play this game.
Yeah. Right.
And I don't think that's out yet for
Have you
for
experienced VR?
Yeah, but mostly on the video side. Like I haven't done too much on the
video
on the gaming side.
So you haven't touched a PSVR, you haven't touched an Oculus Rift, you haven't touched an HTC.
No, but it's nothing that I haven't felt that urge to go out and try and find one to
sure.
play. I'll get around to it eventually. It's something that's like, for the price right now, I can wait.
Right.
Yeah, I feel the same. For the price, I don't think it's worth it. And I also think VR, I honestly don't see it as a home thing. To me, VR is much more of an experience that, I mean, you could go out for. Like, because when it comes to VR, it's like you need to set up like a space for it, right? I mean,
not a big one.
No,
not
but
really
I mean,
a big one.
You do need a designated space for it. I mean, like it's not the same as like sitting on a couch and playing your game.
True.
And I think not PSVR, but any VR would be a really cool thing. Like, I don't want to say it would revive arcades, but like I really think it could be a public thing where it's like, I'll just use the word arcade. You can go to arcade, someone's playing VR, and then there's a monitor right next to it where people can watch what they're doing.
Yeah.
And like to me, that's much more. Because, like you said, the fall of the human race, like if we're all just inside our homes, plugged in, I could see it succeeding much more as a social thing, like people taking turns, seeing what's going on. Like,
sure.
It reminds me of like...
That's how it starts.
Or it reminds me of the episode of Rick and Morty where they they go to Chips and Blitz and they play Roy.
Chips and Blitz!
Like, Roy's the bomb, yeah. Like, and they're playing that game Roy, but like all the aliens.
He's a Roy off the grid.
Yeah, he's Roy's off the grid. Like stuff like that would be way more successful for VR. But again, like, having places invest in that much for VR machines, it's a lot to ask for. And and that goes the same for people at home. It's a lot to ask for because it's still pretty expensive, and the setup you need
is extremely expensive. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like, it's definitely still a prosumer product, and that's why it's not easily accessible. Not a lot of people have played these things. I mean, in order to, the PSVR is the most accessible, but it's also like not the best VR experience that you could possibly have. Considering the rest of the options. It's kind of up there on par with Oculus Rift, but it's those touch controllers that the Oculus Rift just released are just so intuitive that it blows the Move controllers out of the water. But these are all around the price point of, I think the lowest is like $300, the highest is like $600, right? And if you're not talking about the PSVR, then these other VR headsets or Microsoft's MR headsets, you have to have a really powerful computer in order to run it.
That's the other thing.
Right. You have to have a really nice high-end graphics card and a system that can really run this thing to its utmost potential. When you do have that, it's fucking amazing.
Yeah,
I
but
recently.
Then you're spending like $1,000.
It's true. No, it's definitely true, and that's why we don't have it. But like the other day, I was in a perfect opportunity to actually try out Oculus Rift, and the person that I was being shown the amazing piece of hardware, he also had the touch controllers. I just played a demo for this game. I didn't even play like Super Hot or like any of those like really like VR central games.
Yeah.
It was just this demo where you're in this like kind of like Doc Brown Winnebago style like mad scientist kind of place. You put a floppy disk into this thing, and this thing becomes like a Wall-E robot, and it starts to interact with you, and it gives you these floppy disks that you can then like take out and put into this like 3D virtual printer, and it prints out like basically a micro mini game. So like it'll like do like a Nerf gun, and like all these like little targets start to come up, and I'm telling you, as soon as it booted up, and I was like, okay, this is terrifying because it is so like immersive. I was like immediately in it. I forgot people were around me, and like you put on the headset, and it has the headphones that kind of pop down. You can't see anything, and you have these controllers which do, again, I have to reiterate, it feels so intuitive and natural to use. You've got, you hold it like this.
Ergonomically designed.
Right. It's got shoulder buttons for your fingers that point your fingers in the game. It's got shoulder buttons here, right where you're holding it in the grip, that actually change your grip in the game. And then it has sensors on top of the buttons that allow, like, it reads when your thumb is down or not. So it really does feel like as soon as you start moving your hands and the response and how good it feels and how natural it feels, it's kind of terrifying, but it really feels good. Yeah. So I'm playing this game, and these little pick up the Nerf gun, you're shooting these little targets, and then the sounds is so immersive. It's 360, everything. I'm telling you, man, it blew my fucking mind. I was like you guys. I was seriously like you guys. I was like, VR.
No. I'm not saying mud of VR. It's awesome. Like
you're saying it.
No,
I'm saying you're
it's,
saying it.
What I'm saying is,
sucks.
it's a really cool experience. It's just, like you said, when you need $1,000 rig with the $600 VR thing, like it's a lot to ask for. That's what I'm saying. If arcades were to somehow be revived,
sure,
I think VR would be the way to go. Because I mean, it's a lot to ask for someone to buy into that, but it's not much to ask for like someone to pay $10 for 20 minutes of gameplay or half hour or something.
Then you got to put the tokens in the headset and then they're rattling around and it's very distracting.
Yeah. Well, we use cards nowadays. If you go to Chips and Blitz, they use cards.
Oh my goodness. I mean, I'm telling you, like, there's a whole bunch of things that are on the horizon for PSVR, like that was announced at E3 that was just like, okay, skip it to the things that I'm actually going to care about and play. But now, as soon as I played the Oculus Rift, I was looking into buying PSVR because I don't have a high-end PC. I have a Mac, and I'm like, that's not gonna do anything.
No,
so like,
that's
So I mean, in terms of gaming, and so I was like, okay, well, I have a PS4, and I really love the experience.
Yeah.
Can is it worth it? And I started really like looking into it, and it's not as great as Oculus, and, as the HT Vive that has these like cameras and sensors that you actually place on the unit and maps it out.
It's like there's they got, I think it's like 8 sensors. You gotta have like this huge space. And
right.
You gotta put those things.
No, that's what I was saying. You need a designated space for all that stuff.
But the Microsoft headsets, the Acer and the HP headsets have internal sensors, so it completely eliminates the external need or the need for external markers and cameras. So I mean,
but like, let's say
it's getting more and more.
Right. So you want to get that, but then like, you want to run on a powerful machine, Xbox One X. Well, this is gonna cost me like.
Actually, oh my God, I didn't realize that. Like, that might be another reason why people would want to buy.
Oh,
Xbox.
Of course, yeah, definitely. It's just you're gonna have to break the bank because it's
not really.
lot.
I mean, okay, because you have your options are PSVR. If you're not a PC gamer, your options are PSVR, which is like we've already said, not the best, or you have the Xbox, which is being branded as a premium, high, top of the line computer. Now it has a VR that could potentially,
right? But
MR, Jesus, that could potentially like rival like the best.
Yeah. But if it's still $700-800,
that's true.
That's a lot, dude. Like, I don't know about you, but that's a lot for me.
Yeah, no, it's a lot of money for something that's still, it's like VR
in the early ages.
Still, it's an infancy stage.
Yeah, this is embryo stage.
Yeah, it's just it's a
bigger words.
little baby.
Yeah.
And I think it's years off from being something that I feel like I'm gonna have to pick up.
But I mean, like I think it's gonna be here sooner than we think because the
so.
touch controllers for the Oculus Rift, released not too long ago. And before that, it was just a headset and you're having to use a controller. But now with those touch controllers, it's actually made people be like, okay, now I need to buy this. Like the guy that owned the Oculus Rift that I played on, he was like, I was going to buy an Oculus Rift until those touch controllers came out. And then I was like, I have to get this now. And my God, I wouldn't imagine playing that thing without the touch controllers because it feels so good. But I mean, now with Doom VFR on the horizon, Skyrim VR, Farpoint, Battlefly Rogue, these are all, I believe these are all just like PlayStation exclusive. Not Doom, but Farpoint is, I know that. Maybe. I don't know. Whatever. Doom, VFR, Skyrim, Farpoint, Battlefield, Rogue 1, Space Battle Simulator 1000.
That would be awesome. I mean, that goes you back to like the old Star Wars arcade game where you've got it's like the screen is surrounding you and you're like in a TIE fighter. It's really awesome.
That'd be pretty sweet.
X-Wing or a wine bomb.
Although, and also I will say, if you want a good way to get an Xbox One X, I tweeted this earlier this week.
You did? Where, by chance?
At Go Multiplayer on Twitter.
Who would have thought?
But Taco Bell's having a thing at the end of August where they're going to start doing their $5 quesarito boxes, and you have a chance to win an Xbox One X.
Great, so you just have to deal with diarrhea.
Exactly.
Well, I mean, you can just buy it, give the food to a homeless guy, and then keep the box. If you're
wow, a Good Samaritan act, and you can spread the diarrhea to the needy.
If someone's going to diarrhea.
That's tough.
I think that's how Last of Us started.
Not quartersteps, just real shitty fast food.
Quesarito boxes.
Yeah.
Taco Bell never changes.
Well, I mean, I don't know. Once this becomes a little less prosumer and more consumer friendly, I definitely am going to be one of those people who's going to jump on that bandwagon and immediately buy one of these things.
Yeah, if I could get like a dope VR headset for maybe $300 and there's like a killer game for it, I'd probably
It might be coming sooner than we think.
Unless somebody wants to just mail me one, I'll be okay with that.
So his address is.
Yeah.
Dear Oculus.
Yeah. We will talk it up. I'm already doing the groundwork for you, really. Javier, what about you? Last words.
I mean, I think
last words.
Okay.
Last words.
I'll stick to what I said. I mean, I think it's the future and it's amazing. It's just I don't think it's a consumer thing. I don't think it's an at-home thing. I really think it's more of a social experience that, again, arcades could revive it, any place could revive it, and I really think it's meant for many people to go through, like, unless you have, like, games like Skyrim or something, obviously you want to play at home, but I don't know. It's not for me,
Gotcha.
Unless it's, like, more of a social thing.
Gotcha. Well, I'm excited to see what happens.
Me
but
too.
Until then, we have to say goodbye to these lovely, lovely people.
Oh, shucks.
Well, wish we had cut that off sooner. I'm embarrassed for you. No, I'm just kidding. Guys, thank you again so much for either listening or watching. Yeah. We're listening and watching for this show. We really appreciate it. And guys, you can also find out all these things, these links to these beautiful things and topics that we've been talking about on our Twitter at Go Multiplayer. And you can also see some behind the scenes and upcoming stuff of Go Multiplayer at our Instagram at Go Multiplayer as well. You can also find our personal Twitter and Instagram handles. Mine specifically at Masdorado for Twitter, and for Instagram, Guillermo_Dorado. Zack?
I'm at Zack Matzganis, ZackMatzganis.
Ooh, quicker.
And it was
There's a little bit more energy that time. I like it.
MATZ.
Slow.
I'm on Twitter at MultiplayerHav, and I also run the Go Multiplayer Twitter account, so I post a lot of stuff on there. More than on my own, because sometimes I forget that I'm on Multiplayer's Twitter, and I'm like, I want that game. Aren't there multiple?
So you're really just following Javier on our Twitter. You can also find our two amazing camera and audio guys. We have Mick at Mick to the Wood. But you're shaking your head. Okay, yeah. I was like, did I get it wrong? I'm pretty sure I got it. At Mick to the Wood on Instagram and on Twitter. And you can also find Nathan, our British counterpart, at Multiplayer Nath. God, I love it. I love it so much. But yeah, thank you guys so much for joining us. Thank you. Special shout out to DJ CUTMAN for the amazing chiptune music. And also, again, please visit our Patreon page. If you want to see any more exclusive content, you can find it there at patreon.com/multiplayer. But until then, we will see you next week. So keep on grinding, and we'll see you at the respawn.
See ya.
We love you.
On behalf of Multiplayer, Mario would like to send a special thank you to Jaden Lawrence, Arturo Mendera, Mercedan Kroll Pitaru, and Mario Dorado. Thank you so much for watching. Woohoo!